Now, what most people do not realize is these sculptures, when you truly understand the symbolisms, they are gateways to awakening, they are gateways to enlightenment. So, what I am able to do is correlate the symbols behind these statues to the Vedantic concepts, and in my opinion, very few people in the world do that. Just about 1 or 2 people in the world do this. It is a very unique way to look at these sculptures, and you would not call it sculptures or statues, you would call them, the technical word is murti, M-U-R-T-I, and murti is a statue with energy, but it is a self that shines through you, hits an impersonal statue and rebounds, and you feel something. In other words, you make it a murti, and the final teaching is we are all walking murtis, we are all walking gods and goddesses, we have forgotten our true nature. Now, there is another jump in my understanding that happened. I was teaching at Deepak Chopra's retreats about 6 or 7 years ago, and he used to talk about these murtis as archetypes, and that is a very powerful way to look at them, because the word archetype, as you know, was coined by the Swiss psychologist Carl Jung. He said, and Jung was inspired by these deities, and Jung said these reside within what he called the collective unconscious. In other words, these are there for everyone to tap into regardless of culture, regardless of time, regardless of space. You take for example, in the Egyptian tradition, the sun god is called Ra. In Greek Roman tradition, it is called Mitra, and in the Hindu tradition, it is called Surya. So, there is a lot of similarities, Isis, Saraswati, there is a lot of parallels between different traditions, and it is regardless of time, there are thousands of years apart, there are traditions, but they share the same archetypes. The Sanskrit word for archetype is more powerful. It is called Ishta Devata. Ishta means desired, Devata means deity. In my opinion, archetype is a little too mental. Ishta Devata is really heart centered, it is really what grabs you by the heart. You may not know, it is a visceral feeling you may have, you just feel a connection, and you just feel that you have known it sometime in your past. And through the process of knowing your archetype, what I teach is how to work with the archetype as a spiritual practice. And that is again I have learned from a few other teachers, but it is a very little known fact. So, the amazing thing is when you properly explain the purpose behind these murtis as gateways to spiritual awakening, as a spiritual experience as opposed to a religious belief, a lot of people seem to get it. Essentially, I live with these murtis. I have a warehouse full of these murtis, I work with them all the time, I carry them, I have a truck. So, when you develop such an intense, close relationship, at some point the grace pours in.